Oh, yeah.
Did it work that time?
Yes.
Okay, good. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. The first time I heard it, it nearly brought a tear to my eye. You did a great job.
It's fantastic.
We also like Danla's version too, but that's for something different. It wasn't supposed to be released to the
mine's
world
a super prototype.
I was like,
and it's
fuck,
not
did
specifically for the gate.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, did I just play something copyrighted? Oh god, we're done. Oh god, oh no. Excuse me. I ate my dinner over the sink like a monster.
Oh, that was brilliant. Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah. And then you gotta do the other one. Yeah. Okay. So who feels comfortable?
Gosh, it's good.
Giving us a real quick recap, just a little bit about what we're doing and what we have accomplished. 2 minutes or less, and then we'll go around and talk about who we are.
I can super speedy recap. So, we are playing a game called Microscope. It is a world-building game in which there's no GM. We cooperatively work to build a world. We started by setting the start and end periods of what we are actually going to be caring about. The first one was defined as we thought we were alone until the gate appeared. It was an era of light, as in optimism, that sort of thing. Ending with the universe we know is consumed by the gate. Dark in relativity. We then set a palette of things that are always on the table and things that we are not messing with. A few of examples are a moon colony can be a thing, magic coming from the stars, space physics being loose. Yes, undead, but no Flying Dutchman apparently. Where some of the no's are things like time moving backwards, colonialism, divine intervention, and particularly digital things. One of the biggest ones that came up was on our side of the gate. There are in total there are no humans. Our side can have humanoids. The other side has non-humanoids. However, on the other side, you're not going to have any rubber forehead aliens. They're all going to get real weird. And we've got a bunch of other fun things that we can delve into when we are building, now that we have our palette set. And we are about to move on to the next stage, which is the first pass.
Very nice, thank you. That was a great recap.
Yes.
Quiet you. All right.
Fold.
What order do we want to talk about ourselves in?
What, we could roll initiative.
We could roll initiative.
Yeah.
But should we?
Right.
Yeah. You gotta use Roll20 for something.
I don't think we should.
We're all on here.
I rolled a 19. It's gotta mean something. Dan rolled you rolled the D1.
I rolled the maximum possible for my roll.
How did I get a roll that low?
Who's gonna do the math to figure out the percentages to see where it actually lines up in order?
I got less than a 1 percentage-wise.
So you go last.
I got a 1, so I think that means I go first, right?
5, 6, 7 digits.
Yours is definitely less than 1%, that is.
15.
Dan goes first.
I go first?
7 out of 24 possible digits.
1D minus 1.
It's still a 1.
Oh.
You broke it.
Okay. Alphabetical? Okay. Yeah, I didn't... I should have put, name placards on, but, time makes fool of us all. Okay, I'll go first. That's fine. My name
But I'm
is...
alphabetical.
Oh, alright, fine. Then go.
But I don't want to go first. You can go first.
No, now you have to, because you interrupted me.
What am I doing? My name is Amanda. And you can see this under my name under my photo in the lovely post-edit version of this when it's on YouTube later. I am a human. I played the games. I'm not a human. Really shouldn't have gone first.
No, so last time we talked a little about the characters we played in this game. Or a game in this podcast.
So, in our podcast, I play I'm playing in two other streams right now, and in one of them, I am playing Fyaza Blue Garden, the lovely forgotten noble family who is now also a rat witch and on a boat, and we're supposed to be stealing something, but I don't think we've really stole anything at this point. And in the other stream, that's this one.
Yes. This is
Because this is it. This is what you're tuning in for.
You watched it. You can't unwatch it.
Not avert your eyes.
We recently finished up a Courage the Cowardly one shot. You can find that on the YouTubes. Insert link. Yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now. You can follow me on Twitter at Pseudopop or on Instagram, which is the better choice, the real Pseudopop.
Yeah, that's right.
And yeah, that's it. Goodbye.
You did
Sorry.
a great job.
Yeah, I'm gonna help you out a little bit. She also makes really cool emotes like this.
Oh yeah, I made that.
Ooh, boop, boop, boop. One emote, please.
It is not the only emote I made. I do
It's
art.
the only one I have access to.
Yeah.
I actually don't have
Yeah.
yours. I'm gonna have to sub to your channel.
Yay. I
Yep,
got my
it's a
first
good channel.
gifted sub last night.
Sorry, I didn't
Ooh.
know I pronounced that wrong.
Yub tub.
Yep.
Chop.
Yep.
You'll jump tub.
Yub yub.
Yep.
Are we not singing the song from Return of the Jedi? No, just me. Okay, goodbye.
Just you.
It looks
me?
like
Just-
Dan is next.
Oh, that's me. Hi, I'm Dan. I am known on this stream channel for playing Nico Veas in the Curse of Greyhawk / City of Gold campaign that is nearing its resolution. I am also a speedrunner of Zelda: Link to the Past Randomizer. So I stream that at twitch.tv/olhado, OLHAADO. If you like retro games and random chaos, go check it out. And I'm a Scorpio. I don't even really know what that means.
It means
It
you're
means-
passionate.
Oh, you're a Scorpio?
Scorpio, Leo, Scorpio. Yep.
Ooh, are we
I'm
gonna
the
do
worst.
a breakdown of
I'm
like
the
our
worst.
team's actual compatibility with each other and why we should or should not be playing this game together?
We've established that star magic is a thing. Star magic is a
True.
thing.
Yes,
In the
I am
game,
very
we have
magical.
established that.
Tristan,
This
you're
is what we
Cancer,
know.
aren't you?
That's
No,
canon.
I'm Pisces, and I have the Pisces version of the Scorpio mug that Dan has.
Oh.
Dan, you have that Scorpio mug, right? I saw it.
Yeah, right here, man.
I have I have the Pisces equivalent of that exact same mug. It's a super nice bug, isn't it?
It is. I think it's what, a Target special or something like
I
that.
think so. I use
Wait,
it
it
because
says-
We're
I'm
sponsored by Target.
Passionate,
sponsored.
secretive.
I told you
But-
Not
passionate.
sponsored.
It's because I'm a
any
Scorpio.
sponsor.
I don't know that I'm
Gotcha.
secretive, but maybe I just don't think to say some of the things that are on my mind.
Mhm.
It's not intentional. I like you guys.
Oh, Dave. Hi,
most of the
Dave.
time.
If only that was 7 days when you did that. Yeah. No, I use that mug because no one else in this apartment is a Pisces. You can only use that mug if you're a Pisces.
There can be only one.
Does that make
All
me
right,
next?
that's it for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm them Dave, also known as So Dave. I stream tabletop and D&D and one-time Fall Guys, but that was terrible, and I probably won't do that again. The idea
Oh.
for the gate started 2 years ago at Gen Con when I was watching Twitter and realized somebody else had a lot more fun than I did. And I vowed to try and replicate it because it seemed awesome. And then it really started because I walked up to Tom and was like, "Hey, do you like Spelljammer?" And he was like, "Yup." And here we are. That's it.
That's a good story. I like that.
That's it.
Yeah.
I didn't know the full history.
Yeah. I am available here every Thursday, most Sundays, and hosting our game of Zweihander that we play on the Zweihander official channel on Tuesdays. Besides that, yeah, you can find me either at ThemDave or SoDave on every social media, and I'm done. So who's up next?
I believe it is me.
All right.
Hi, I'm Ian Doherty. I have played, I believe, only one part in any of the streams on this channel. I, for an episode, played the part of he who walks behind cornstalks in the Greyhawk campaign, the aforementioned Greyhawk campaign, which was a lot of fun.
It was good.
I also roleplay on another stream, twitch.tv/apickedcucumber, where we're playing a D&D 5e game called The Refuge in the Sanctuary. We just got into the Feywild, and there's a lot of weird stuff happening because it's the Feywild. We're meeting a lot of colorful characters in every sense of the word, and it's a lot of fun. We're streaming on Mondays, but now we should be streaming on Tuesdays. Might be a little like every other Tuesday, or at least we're working it out.
Isn't that just a pickle?
I didn't make the name. Ask Zeus.
Okay. I can't question Zeus. He'll smite me.
That's true.
But outside of role-playing games, I am also a musician. I made the theme that you heard earlier. And you can find me on Twitter at iDoherty451. It's the same as my Twitch handle, so if you see my Twitch name in the chat, it's the exact same thing. I'm also the same name on YouTube, and on Bandcamp, it's iandoherty.bandcamp.com and ramshkialley.bandcamp.com. You'll be able to find it from places. And I think that's everything.
We should make the theme a command.
I don't know how you would do that though.
Sounds way
Yeah.
better abilities.
And
I mean, there are
worried that it
people
would get
who
spammed.
Well,
You
it would
make it so
play
you
on
have
the
to
screen,
donate
there'd be a
bits.
link to it.
Oh,
that
link
too.
Yeah, so at some point, I'm actually going to do a better mix and master of the theme, and then I'll have a link to where you can. I'll probably put it up on Bandcamp, and you can get it there.
Oh heck yeah! I
You
mean,
have to
there's
stay
also
tuned
like
to the end to hear the theme again.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
There
I
are
wasn't just
places
about
where-
to play it. That's for sure.
when you like donate bits or whatever, you can have like a sound effect to accompany it with certain things.
Oh, that's
We
true.
could.
So
Yeah,
it's
that
a bit of a long sound effect for.
I mean, you do
Sure.
like a clip of it.
I'm a clip.
You do like the first like 5 seconds.
Oh, I remember Clippy.
Dude,
Oh no!
good old Clippy.
Are you trying to write a resume?
Are you trying? Never mind.
I have 11,000 channel points.
Nice.
You trying
well
to
done.
hide a body?
Yeah. Yeah, Squid. Sorry, you missed the theme.
It'll be back.
Themes for. Yeah, the theme will be back. Theme will be back.
Yeah, I have.
All right,
Don't.
who's up
rename
next?
That. Tom.
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 Hi, I'm Tom. I played Irene in the Courage the Cowardly Dog game, and I played Horblat in the Paranoia game. I don't have.
Can you do this in your Irene voice?
Oh my God!
But should he?
Don't make him overdo it.
But should he?
No.
I will not. Don't worry.
I respect that.
I will have a new stupid voice for everybody for my new character. There will be a new. It might be an impression, but it's definitely a stupid voice.
Yeah, I mean that's all we need.
And I don't have anything to plug, but if you're in my home D&D game and you're listening to this, I am sorry for making you fight that whole room full of mind flayers, but I'm not so sorry that I won't do it again. So
Even Dave wouldn't do that. Maybe.
Wait, wouldn't do
He
what?
would.
Sorry.
Never mind.
We got to subscribe.
Oh, no, don't worry about it.
No,
Thank you
something
for
about, something about
subscribing.
mind flayers or something, right?
yeah, I mean, don't worry about it.
I don't know what
Hyper
hyper
mayhem,
jump is,
hyper
but I have
cooldown.
no. Thank you.
They seem like fitting for the gate.
Yeah.
It I don't know what it is. Is this like some video games?
Hyper jump. It's that thing where like when you go over it with your car and then it goes extra fast for a little bit.
Oh. Well, that's
try to
like that's a
jump.
boost. This is you go into the. This is like a jump pad. You step on it.
This is the
and
Sims
it-
one.
send you up to a platform you couldn't normally reach. Oh, did
30,000. We're not even rolling.
No, Dave is the one. He has infinite channel points.
That's true. I do have infinite channel points.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like,
anyway,
that was a waste of points. We aren't doing any rolling.
That's fine. All right, Tom, did you have
ass.
anything else?
Nope, I'm quite done.
All right. And I'm the last person. My name is Tristan. I'm probably best known for doing the recaps on this. I mean, speaking of which, there is a if I can remember the thing, is it this? Yes.
Nice.
Aha.
Korg cap.
Oh yeah. Cog recap.
Koger cap. See ogre cap.
Ogre cap. See ogre cap. Yes.
Ogre cap.
Yeah, that is a lovely recap. I did 40 minutes of me talking nonstop. Honestly, I should that's ASMR basically.
Yeah.
I'm also known for in the 5e game playing everyone's favorite bird friend. And more recently in our Zweihander game, I've been playing old Uncle Gamlin, he's great and everyone loves him. And he's a little bit sleazy, and he's 100% related to Amanda's character, whose name is
You.
Interesting name. Sounds like a homunculus.
Zelda.
Brett.
Anyway, they're related, and she can't prove they're not because they're all from the Shire. Yeah, that's that. And I may, spoilers, someday be running a game on this channel.
Ooh.
Thank you, some squiddly nerd.
Ooh.
Ooh. Who knows what may be coming to this channel soon?
Grim Portent.
Yeah, Fiona. Thank you. That's her name. Fiona. Anyway.
I'm gonna name my next character is gonna be Fiona.
Good old Fiazza.
Yeah.
Gamlin will never get a name right, including his own. Yeah. So.
Did we go through everybody?
That's all of us.
Yeah, that is everyone.
Nice. We did it. Well done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Woo.
So I apologize because I went to double check something really quick and realized I don't have all the information I need. So I didn't talk about this with anybody before show, so I apologize for bringing it on you. In the future, we got to plan things out a little better. I want to I'll link the thing. I want to take anything we get in subs, bits, or donations tonight and send it to Danzig's Roost. I saw this a couple hours earlier, and I thought I saw the name of the sanctuary that was in the chat or in the message, but it wasn't there. So I just messaged them and asked. You can actually see 40 seconds ago that I asked, "Hey, who is it?" I've donated to Danzig's Roost a couple times. Riley has too, actually, because I think that they're an amazing animal shelter. But it looks like they posted that there are wildfires that are threatening a fellow animal shelter in Felton, California, and I want to send them anything we can. So, in fairness, that was Jenny who was subscribing earlier, but I'm gonna match the donation, and so if we do get anything tonight, because I know this goes out to a lot of different people, that's what we'll be doing with the funds. Hopefully that's cool with everybody.
Awesome.
Works for me. Cool with it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. I was just like, oh shit, this is another thing I meant to do before the actual game started. Okay, so who here took the last 2 weeks and read a little bit about Microscope?
I read a bunch of it before the last 2 weeks.
That would be the smart and professional thing to do.
I have it open to the right chapter.
Nice.
Yes, as do I.
Yeah, okay.
Chapter that I have seen before.
Here, okay.
It says step 4, first pass.
I told Ben Robbins, I was like, I don't think I've ever played your game as it was intended. And he's like, well, did you keep to the spirit of the game? And I was like, oh yeah, definitely. But for those of them listening at home, what is it? And he was like, well, did you invalidate anything anyone else said? And I said, no, of course not. And he said, then you played it right. So, as long as we're here together, respecting one another, I think we'll do okay.
It's a game about friendship.
Yeah.
You did an interview with him too, right? Is there a link to that?
Yes, but I
The
don't
real
remember
friends were the aliens we
called.
made along the way.
Mm-hmm. The real aliens were the friends we made along the way.
That didn't do it. Hold on.
We made some really friendly aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is. Oh, it's Microscope RPG, idiot.
Idiot.
Why didn't I think of that? There it is. So there's the interview with the creator. I thought I had two. I thought I had a link to... I meant to do a link to Ars Ludi, and apparently I didn't do that either. Boy, I'm just all over the place today. I mean, that I can just post, I guess, but whatever. Oh, look at you. Thank you, Cryptocatalysim.
No problem. And it shared rewards to 3 others in chat.
I know, that's exciting.
It also puts
Now
me
I
as the number 3 for bits. Did it? I'm trying to think. See if it got me any fancy. Ooh, it got me a gravity.
Nice. Okay. So does someone want to read the step 4, and then we'll get ourselves organized?
I would be happy to do so.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Just from this first page up until the little flashcards.
Yeah, I think so. Just so we have an idea of what we're doing.
So, we went through step 1, and step 2, and step 3. We are now in step 4, first past. Group decisions are now over. For the rest of the game, each player makes decisions individually and has vast power to shape history. Each player now gets to add more detail to the history, creating either a new period or event. Players can go in any order they want. To add a period, place it between any 2 adjacent periods, then give a short description of what happens during that time. Say if the tone is light or dark. An event is a specific thing that happens inside a period, like a prince seizing the throne or a colony ship arriving on a new world. To add a new event, decide what period the event is in. If there are already other events in that period, place it before or after one of them. An event must be inside an existing period. Tell the other players what happens during the event. Say if the tone is light or dark. Write each period and event on a separate index card as you create them. Orient the event cards wide instead. That's more about if we were using flashcards, which we are not.
Yep.
So basically, we're creating periods first, and then we create events within those periods.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
At some point, does it get down to scenes, or is that a later step?
I think you can create like a big overarching thing, and then you can say, I want to talk a little bit about this, and then you can actually dig into it and roleplay the thing. And I forget the exact ways it works, but yeah. Because you can just talk about like, a period or an epic, like the Great Galleon Wars, right? And that can encompass 100 years. But then you can be like, I want to talk specifically about when they, bombarded the planet of whatever the fuck. And then we can potentially role play that scene if there's something interesting to learn about it.
Does it say how many periods? So is this its own step, or does this immediately go into the next part where we pick lenses and focuses? Because it doesn't say how long the step goes.
I think it's just the game, isn't it?
All right, so it does just go right into the next part with overview of play.
I think so.
I don't know.
Yeah, it does. It does say that it goes. The events and periods are covered in more detail later on, so it's probably
gotcha. So it's probably Players
if you
can
scroll
play
down,
now.
there's a history
Either
period.
maybe it starts off. Each of us get to make one thing, just so we have something before we have to worry about lenses and focuses. And then once we've all put in either one period or one event, then it moves on. Because it makes it seem like we do, like, otherwise why would this step be here? Like, Because it says each player now gets to add more detail to the history, creating either a new period or event. Players can go in any order they want. Whereas with the whole lens thing, that's like it seems a little more specifically set order and all of that thing.
Where are you seeing the lenses?
Lenses are in like 2 more pages under overview of play. Because you should have already followed the steps in starting a new game. This is step 4 of starting a new game. So I think that each of us gets to make 1 period or 1 event, and then we move on to the core gameplay, just so we have more than just the start and end period.
So we have to decide what player is going to start, and they are the lens. If someone is teaching the game, they should be the first lens. You can give the lens a large invisible object to remind everyone at the table who it is. The lens declares the current focus of the game, the part of history you're going to explore. And then you make the history. Each player takes turn creating either a period, an event, or a scene. The lens goes first, and you go around the table to the left, where what you create must be related to the current focus. So we have to figure out what a focus is.
So are we just passing over the first pass then, or?
I don't understand your question.
So the step 4 of the beginning of the game, or starting a new game, is this whole first pass thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's the same as playing the game.
Yeah, go back to setup. There's a step 4 in the super section.
In which it looks like, because each player now gets to add more detail, creating either a new period or event. Players can go in any order they want. So I think before we have to worry about focuses and lenses, it seems like each person...
We each just stuff a big thing into the world.
Yeah, we're basically creating a big picture timeline of periods and events that then we
build on more specifically.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Then we'll do that.
Okie dokie. So who wants to go first for first pass?
If nobody has anything planned, I don't mind, because I did spend some time writing up a few ideas. But I do not have to.
I can throw one in that I've been kicking around. Is that okay with everyone?
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll do we'll do Tristan and then me, and then or if anybody wants to jump, I don't mind.
All right. So under first pass, I am just gonna, if I can do that, put the or do we want to use this big first page for the for adding in the periods, because we already have the start and end period on that first page?
Yeah, that can work.
All right. So I'm gonna do that, and it's gonna mess with everything else, and I will even keep formatting So I'm gonna go with and this is sort of right in the middle. The gate. Oh wait, sorry. How would I phrase it? Travel through the gate is more regular, and the last how did I refer to it? The last stop spaceport is built, which is the one referenced in the very end of the yes column.
Okay.
Hold on, say that again.
So the gate is explored further, and the last stop spaceport, which is the one that's closest thing to the gate on our side, is a spaceport/city, roughly 1 day's travel from the gate, is built. So I guess I could just have it.
I think that's cool, but is that an entire period?
I mean, I imagine it would take at least a few decades to build a giant spaceport.
So I want to look at the examples there, where it says mankind makes a new life amongst the stars. Oh, that's the beginning of the end. So
mass settlement of alien Dyson sphere. That's
unifiers conquer multiple star systems.
So what I'm hearing here is maybe the period is more regular space travel between our world and the other world through the gate is established, and then an event inside that period would be the establishment.
The thing is, an example event is a mass settlement of effectively a colony. You'd think the building of a colony would be comparable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that like what you're talking about, the building, the last stop thing?
Yeah,
I would consider that an event rather than a period.
So settling something that's already there is a period, but building something is an event.
I
It's
think
a matter.
I think building something is much smaller. Yes.
It's a matter of specificity and like
All right.
scale. Like the period is space travel becomes more regular in a very general sense.
In that case, all right. In that case, I'm gonna take a pass on my current first pass because there's not a period for me to put the event I want in yet.
Okay.
Right.
So it is.
Does that make
to Dave.
sense? The way that I'm understanding this. Or?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, we have to use kind of the tools we have available, right? And in some places, I think that's going to be really tough. To me, it reads more like an event. I don't think it's a problem, but I think it is the precursor to a situation, which is, right, like all of the oxygen fails on the last rest stop, right, or whatever, right, and then that's a scene we actually play. So yeah, let me dig up what I had. So I have a couple notes here that I wanted to do. A lot of them are fairly small. But I had, and I don't have a name for these people, but I have the observation of a migration, blue and yellow ships seen in the distance, no survivors, but when the audio recordings were played, you could understand their communication. So, like, I'm thinking of like maybe the period is like seeing life beyond the gate, right? Or like the migration.
Yeah.
Alien migration maybe is the right way to put it.
So is this people coming through the gate, or is this activity we're seeing on our side of the gate?
It is activity on the other side of the gate.
Okay.
So we can you see through the gate then?
Like as we were exploring it, as we were going.
Okay,
into
gotcha.
It. Yeah. So observe migration beyond the gate.
Okay. Oh, we lost Tom.
Uh-oh. Now
Tom!
Amanda and I are sharing a screen.
Oh no.
Hi.
Oh no.
And would this be a period of light or dark?
I have envisioned it as dark because they something goes wrong and they're not able to settle. I don't think I'm allowed to define what that thing is. I think that is taking too much.
It needs to be more, like, we're agreeing periods are generalized.
Yeah, so starting off, we're just trying to establish periods that are more general so that we can then populate those periods with more specific events.
Right.
And I, like, even if we're not interpreting the rules 100% correct, I think if we're walking away agreeing on what we think they mean, it's a win.
Yeah, like, I guess if we had to name this, it would probably be like, well, I don't want to call it the Great Migration because it's not us moving, but...
Yeah.
The Great Extraterrestrial Migration?
Right, like something like that.
And how long is this migration happening that it's at the point of being a whole period?
Well, we don't define that.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm going to be honest, this also does not sound like a period to me.
No?
No, this sounds like a thing that happens during, like, I don't know, like this, like, if this is just one, like, thing that we noticed once we start settling on the other side of the gate, this doesn't sound like a period. Like, a period sounds like big cultural movements or wars or, like, periods of, like, because it's something that's happening to the people, like, on the other side, like, it's happening to, I don't know, like, I just don't, like, what events can we put inside of it, you know?
Can I read something from the book?
Yeah,
sure.
Sure.
Okay. So when you scroll down further past the, like, gameplay steps, there's a thing that says making history. On your turn, you can create a period, event, or scene.
We're not at that point in the game.
I know, but it explains,
it explains
things
what a period is.
like,
okay.
Yeah. The above section said that it's explained better further down.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Periods show us the big picture, the broad sweep of history, and events zoom in closer and explore specific incidents within a period, and scenes zoom all the way in and reveal what happens moment by moment within an event. So, Dave's example of oxygen leaving the last stop, that would probably be an event. Or, scene.
Mm-hmm.
The migration would probably be an event. Mm-hmm. And a period would be something like space travel is developed.
That's one of the ones that I was just thinking of as just a major period, just to like give us something to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Like space travel is discovered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of these we're going to be able to stuff in here then. I'm feeling like maybe our bookended history was not long enough then. Because, like, I'm not talking about an afternoon where we see a couple ships whiz by. I'm talking about, like, this massive, incomprehensible convoy across alien dimension. To me, that feels like a lot of different events, a lot of different attempts at communication.
And that's where, like...
I mean, I think a period in this case can be, like, something that's even a year or something. Doesn't have to be, like, a great epic of history or something like that.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know. It's tough. I'm definitely struggling to define it right now.
When you explain it like that, where it's not like a one-off event, like we're saying that at some point there's that settlement right on the other side of the gate, and then maybe they've observed over a period of like 50 years, just like every now and then, on like a cyclical, like every calendar year kind of thing, they're seeing the same kind of thing go through. That would make sense to me as a period.
It's tough. I'm trying to find other examples too to help us.
I think I figured one out, which could also help sort of fill in a couple gaps.
Sure.
So, being a little broad, actually putting it to the period scale. And I will type this in, and I'm going to put it between space travels developed and the migration observed, and I'm going to say it so I can actually have my words good before writing it down. As traveling through the gate becomes more regular, how would I phrase it? As travel through the gate becomes more common, a variety of stops and settlements are built along the various routes. So including moon settlements were discussed, the one on the other side of the gate, the one about a day's travel from the gate. Like they're building up the trade network almost. Does that sound like a actual period thing, building like a dozen or so settlements across like a good chunk of the known universe?
And one of the things I'm seeing is like we find a way to summarize what's happened there. So it's like tourism comes to the gate, right? Or like,
I was going to go with the interstellar highway is established.
Yes,
we go.
That's it right there, right? The interstellar highway is established, and that comes with all the things we've expected.
All right, so the interstellar. I like that because it shows that there's all these points along it. It shows why it's there.
Yeah, I like that. I think that captures what we needed out of it.
The book also states that it's not necessarily about the notes you jot down for this, because like it's hard to really like summarize such a broad idea. It's more making sure we're all listening to each other's ideas and fully understanding what's being stated.
I read it before and I didn't read it aloud, but now I'm seeing the wisdom of always speak first, make sure the other players hear and understand you, and then write.
Yeah, definitely. I like that interstellar highway thing because, like, my biggest thing is having, like, I feel there's a lot of potential with, like, we've mentioned like 3 aside from, like, the vast area beyond the gate and the starting home planet, the moon, the last stop, and the first thing on the other side, all have been mentioned, and those all feel like there's so much potential for stuff there, and I think it would be like during this period that a lot of those are built or like furthered, is how I'd imagine, if that makes sense.
I have an idea for an event. If that's cool.
Yeah. Right now it's just jump hot seat gaming as people feel like they have an idea. I think.
Yeah. So, what do we want to use for events?
You could do a tilde, or just indent it and not have it. Underlined and bolded.
Yeah. So event idea I had was the first ship to travel through the gate doesn't come back, or like the first ship travels through the gate and doesn't come back.
So I don't want to hijack your thing. I very much wanted that to happen with the ZYDO Institute. But I didn't want it to be their first time. I was thinking like their third or fourth time, right? They proved it worked, but now they've been lost. But they don't have.
You could always say like
an
early ship.
Yeah,
sent by the ZYDO.
No,
Institute.
I don't want to take his thing because I think it's really cool.
So I think it's just a matter of rephrasing it a little bit. Is it accurate to say the first ship to make it through the gate doesn't come back?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Because maybe the ZYDO Institute could come in a little later, and maybe they've gotten it down and have been doing some new fancy stuff, but then
the point of this is that it's not just my world, it's all of ours world. But I also really I have been dying to like play with that a little bit, because I didn't answer why, right? It was just that has been an impetus for people to go out there, because there's people still looking for Juliet ZYDO.
Yeah, and that is
who fucking knows
definitely
who she is.
A dark moment.
Oh yeah, absolutely, definitely.
And that also gives us a lot of, if we want to, a lot of scenes to explore within that, like of it, like the disappearance out beyond the gate and what happens with that, or like the auspicious nature of the first liftoff or whatever, like stuff like that.
So I've got one, unless somebody wants to jump in, but I want a little help workshopping it. Somebody explicitly added creatures into space, right, that they could live. I feel like it was Danla, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, it was Dan.
So I have in my notes, right, like the largest drake ever being spotted as something I wanted to find as either a scene or an event or something. But I think that there's probably very much like the great whaling industry, right, of space. So
space whale oil.
Right,
it goes kind of hand in hand with one of the ones that I wanted to bring up too. So
yeah,
I
so
like it.
Like as like a whole, period of like, like drake hunting, right? The drake hunters, like the drakes are driven to extinction, right? Something like that. Do we feel like
you could do? There could, I could imagine like a period between space travels developed and the interstellar highway. Like we can go through space, but we don't have this straight path. It's you go out, you do what you can close enough that you're going to survive, and maybe what's close enough that you'll survive is collecting parts from these big magical space creatures. Like, if you wanted to have it be like a whole period, I think it seems like it would be between those two.
Say that again, Tristan. I missed the end of that.
I don't know that we have to nail down exactly where it falls, do we?
I mean, I think
I think we're supposed to have a general idea of when things happen on the timeline.
Like,
okay. I mean,
because they make
I do
a
think of
point
it
with
as
periods.
earlier than later.
Yeah. Like, this is, at the moment, we also have some pretty big jumps. The gate, space travel, we've established the way constantly through the gate. There was the giant migrations, and then the universe ends. Like, it jumps who knows how many years between these events.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I think we can add more later when we get to the next step too.
Yeah.
So Daniel, it sounded like you had an idea for something like this too.
It was similar. Yours sounds like it's more about the trade of like hunting space creatures, right?
And like the gamesmanship, right? Like I brought myself a 472 stoner.
Yeah. So I might tweak what I was thinking of a little bit, which is a period I'll call, like, change the name in the future maybe, but the War of the All Dragon, where like this massive friggin' space worm appears. It's never been spotted before, and it is here out of like retaliation for all of the game hunting.
I think that's probably good, right? So then yours actually summarizes the whole thing, and mine is like a smaller part of it. It's like, well, okay, well, what happened was first we started hunting them for sport and meat and oil, and then, you know, then it was a game, and then it was who could get the biggest one, and then it showed up and fought back.
Yeah.
So what was it called? The War of the
All Dragon. I don't know.
Yeah,
oh no, that's cool.
Yeah, we can
like,
hash them out later, but yeah, that totally works for me. And I think, right, like we were saying, that's pretty early on. I don't know that I like necessarily limiting it to just within a few days of the gate, but I like the idea of like it was still wild and untamed at that point.
Yeah, and I think conceptually, this is getting way ahead, but like my character's purpose comes as like a far future aspect of that.
Yeah.
So I think
like,
it comes before we actually play, maybe, but after.
Like,
yeah.
I picture us like at the moment, what we would play would be after migrations and stuff being observed, but of course before the universe is consumed.
Well, I think that's a thing we decide later.
Yeah, we get to choose any point in this entire Microscope history we're making to play.
True.
Yeah. So
that is the.
Yeah, Ian, because you're actually working.
I typed War of the All Dragon. Do we think that that's a good place timeline-wise for it to be, or do you think it needs to come before or after?
I think that it's definitely back when the galaxy, even the areas immediately outside of the gate were still kind of wild and woolly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, you can't have an interstellar highway that you're hunting on.
Yeah, no, but you also can't build it if there's still space dragons and just so much stuff that cool every other convoy is attacked by space whales.
Yeah,
like
in my mind, it's like deep space where it's kind of unexplored and
But it's also
the Bermuda Triangle. Things go missing there now.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
And that farther stuff can also stick around later.
You
but
know,
like I imagine.
Hold on, it sounded like Tom had something.
Yeah,
sorry.
I was ready to add something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, cool. So I think we'd established at some point that like guilds existed, that there were discrete factions. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was.
I'm trying to decide where. I'm willing to hear some feedback on this. Where do people think that this works better? Basically, I know that I want it right on one side or the other of first getting through the gate, but is it like society bands together? We're all focused on this goal. We get through the gate, and then like people immediately splinter into the reason that they wanted to get through the gate, right? Like, is it like the coalition dissolves, or is it like, you know, the impetus to try to get through the gate is what led to the guilds existing? Where do people sit on that?
Yeah, I mean, maybe guilds kind of form as all of this is like happening, but they're all working together, but they've all had their own motives the whole time, but getting through the gate was the reason to work together, and now that they've gotten through,
all right,
now they know it's possible. Now we're going to do it for our reasons and our ways.
So I'm going to put,
maybe they steal technology from each other and like get ahead or something. They have their best ideas.
Hold on. Amanda, get in there.
I think this actually deviates from what we were planning in the previous sessions, because I think we kind of functioned on a guild kind of working together society as like the growth of our side of the gate, because we weren't doing colonialism and wars.
Okay, so
like guilds are always kind of a thing, but that doesn't stop people from having their own motives going into this whole gate quest.
True. Well, you also get like, even if guilds were a thing, maybe they were redefined by like factions may have been reformed, or they were redefined by the gate.
Amanda, what did you say? Amanda said something. I was trying to hear
sorry.
it.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I'm scrolling down real quick. I just remember, like, when we were talking about not going the colonialism route, a lot of it was like, I know I put guilds or something at some point.
Mercantile society with guilds.
And that was kind of like how our world developed on our side.
Okay, cool. So guilds have always been around guilds sort of being in economic competition with each other is as old as our society. It's not a thing that arose or developed. Got it. All right, cool.
So
Right, but
that
that talks about things specifically on our side. Tom's saying, because I think this works really well
No,
when
no,
you go.
no, this is
Well, hold on. Let me finish this pitch, and if you don't like it, you don't have to use it. So the idea is you get through the gate, and then all bets are off because at first there was nothing there, right? Because we talk about when you're looking at it right now, we do eventually find these space dragons and everything, but I think that like we had a goal, it brought everybody together, we got there, and then we stopped caring until something forced us to get back together again. And I think that cycle is very common.
I think it would make perfect sense if, like, the mentality we had kind of shifted after you get through the gate. So then it's like no man's land at that point.
Sure.
all right.
At the end of it, though, it is Tom's, so...
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it in the space travel section. So, the guild general charter and dissolves.
I think you probably end up with new guilds now that there are kind of new purposes to be explored too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, you've definitely got them, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guilds go from being generally mutually cooperative and supportive of each other to engaged in fierce, occasionally violent, occasionally underhanded competition with one another.
Yeah.
there's unknown wealth and resources, and we're gonna get it first.
It's like
Or the most.
it's like what happens to a lot of like rebellions, right? Where everyone sort of agreed that we all hated the king, but we all had very different ideas for what we were going to do afterwards, right? Like everyone agreed that we definitely got to get through this fucking wormhole, but everyone had really different ideas about what we were going to do when we got through it.
Yeah, I really like that because I also... Yeah, I know. I think that works perfectly. The whole point is we're exploring that history, like as it moves and molds and evolves and everything.
Yeah.
Do we feel we have enough of a rough history developed to move on to the next step? And as such, has everyone thrown at least one period or event in?
Amanda, did you get one in there?
No.
Okay. So now we all just get to stare at you for a moment, politely, supportively.
You did mention the moon settlement when in the previous step.
Would it, so aside from any ideas I want to throw down here, would it make sense to put in some agreed upon events of I forgot what I was gonna say.
No, it's all right. Where do you think you were planning to put it?
It had to do with it had to do with the gate, but I don't remember what it had to do with.
So I'll say when I look at this, we haven't defined much about the end, right? We've talked a lot about early stuff, and nothing currently the time leading up to the universe being consumed. Not that you have to write something about that.
Yeah.
We've definitely focused on getting up to the gate, through the gate, and then looking around at the gate.
I can see there being an event way later of that kind of reunites the guilds again for a common purpose to face some large threat, whether it's like a hostile alien force from beyond the gate, and it suddenly puts the entire risk there, or actually, no. I guess what would make more sense is that we've discovered that the gate is expanding and corrupting the universe.
Changing.
Yeah, Ian, do you have more for that?
Yeah, I was like, in a general sense, I think the period is, we discover that the gate is expanding, and so that sets off a period of us trying to figure out, can we stop it? How's it going to affect us? There's a lot of events that can happen within that.
Yeah, that makes it almost less about like there's a specific enemy than it like reunites the entire guild system to try to slow this corruption or whatever it is, or consumption. We don't know.
And we can also add in more periods in the next step.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
For like
right
more
now we're just
like
getting
specific stuff.
everybody's down. So I have a question, and this is really just me making sure that I'm clear. So when we define no colonialism, it didn't happen, right? I think that's a big and complicated thing, like a lot of some of our just one-off statements. To me, that meant we didn't like us going through this gate wasn't to find cultures that existed and tell them how to live their life, right? We didn't go through it and find people working hard and take their work, right, for less than it was valued, right? That's what seems really important to me. Like, am I in the right ballpark for the way we're acting?
Yeah,
that sounds right.
Yeah, it's like we're like the Federation. We have a generally, well, I don't know that it's always benevolent, but you know.
Sure. Yeah, I just want to make sure that like I'm internalizing that correctly, and I can do things with it that are like helpful and supportive to the game. Right? Yeah. Darmok and Picard. Yeah, because I think like the point of that is like we always go. And like there is never like we're gonna trick these poor fools. Like no, we'll pay you for what it's worth. Maybe we're gonna get more value out of it later because we can do different things with it. But we're not scamming you.
Yeah,
we're a mercantile society,
and I think that helps with the whole guild thing because I think that like it goes right back to defining it as like it's going to create that friction that I think is really important, but it's never about like and then the mining guilds took over every asteroid belt and worked everybody to death. Like that wasn't the point. It was like because I have this cool race that I don't want to talk about yet, but it explains why they're good miners and why they don't care about. Anyway, Amanda, you said something.
I was going to say, you were talking about that specifically in relation to how we meet people on the other side of the gate. I know Zach was specifically, or also wanting to make sure it was also calling out how like our society developed as a whole. Like it wasn't genocidal or anything like that.
Do we know, as kind of the rule, does our society has nothing to do with that? Is colonialism kind of off the table from the other side of the gate? Like, are there forces on the other side that act that way, or is it just very ubiquitous that colonialism does not exist?
Like, I
don't...
With him not here to clarify...
Yeah, can I also fire another confusing big question off the bat? Like, what do you define colonialism as?
That's the part I struggle with. Because when I Google it, I'm like, everything.
Yeah,
most of the world.
I think it was to avoid a lot of the tropes you get in sci-fi, because especially when we're adding in this like old world style travel, we're not going there to change their cultures and make them more of us or just exploit the land. Like, yeah, we'll get resources and we'll deal with them, but we're not going to be converting them all to our way of life.
Yeah, you're basically not like taking land or expanding your own borders at the expense of somebody else.
Things like that.
Yeah. Might I read the definition?
Yeah, absolutely.
Colonialism, noun, the policy or practice of acquiring full or partial political control over another country, occupying it with settlers, and exploiting it economically. So yeah, there's definitely, I think the biggest part of that is the power differentiation. It's one side trying to take over the other side, in simplest terms.
And I think like one of the things that helps there is that like space is really big and there's less of a pressing need to like displace people in order to settle yourself, right?
Yeah.
You don't have a president on the far side of the gate. You don't necessarily need to displace the people who live on like an empty planet or empty asteroid or what have you.
Yeah.
And even with people who are a little less scrupulous, like they might do some unscrupulous mining or forestry practices or whatever, but that might not necessarily be like the way. I think it's also the way going about it. Like you're trying to have control over this. Yeah, if you just go and steal some shit and get out of there, that doesn't feel like colonialism.
Yeah, and also, just like war is not colonialism, right? Your society has things. Our societies come into conflict for political reasons or economic reasons, and we fight. Maybe we do horrendous shit to each other because we have different conceptions about like what is acceptable. Even like I didn't know you were like the buggers from Ender's Game, right? What those are like people? Like your little drones have like thoughts and shit? Oh my god, really? That's fucked up. I didn't know that we were killing like real people when we killed your dudes.
Oh yeah.
That's wild.
But the reason
stuff like that.
Yeah, we're killing them just for good old-fashioned war, not because we're trying to invade their homeland, and they're like, we really don't want you doing that, and we're like, too bad. We're fighting for reasons that aren't that bad. I mean, they're probably that bad, but...
Yeah, to me, the part that I really fixated on was... it was right near the end of your definition, Ian, but it was basically just like coming in and like we will work towards making some kind of fair exchange, right? Like it's not forcing them to do what you want, and it is finding a way to make some sort of trade or exchange some kinds of goods or services. The assumption was never, well, we're bigger than you, so you'll have to do it. Like that was the part that I took and thought would be useful.
Yeah.
But I do like that point, especially Tom, of like there is so much space that like that is not a problem. You know what I mean?
Like if we have the technology to like sustain artificial atmospheres on spaceships, and we have the technology to travel through interstellar space and like access to the resources of space, there's less of like, well, all these people got to go somewhere and they can't stay here, so sorry, buds.
Right, yeah, no, I like that, though. You know what I mean? I like the idea of terraforming planets that are and truly have nothing on them, right? Like, I like taking that right off the table and not making that a thing that happened.
Yeah, it's
we're
just
not manifesting our destiny here.
Right, like if I'm a guild and I'm interested in making money, it's expensive to like fight a war to conquer a whole society and to like,
deal with
maintain
them being pissed off afterwards.
But maintain a colonial empire through a unstable wormhole. Like, man, wouldn't you just rather terraform this big empty planet?
Right, and bring your well-trained dudes in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I like
Dave,
that. Yo.
Is there a way that we can show this timeline on the stream so that people can get a sense of the stuff that we've been
absolutely. Let me move it
and
over
then
here.
You also
I was going to try building
translate all of it into Roll20.
I gave up like very early, as I'm sure you can tell.
It happens.
Wait,
Ooh,
where'd you go,
Amanda, do you have a thing?
I do. I was trying to format this.
Big mood. And after Amanda's, do we want to move on to the next step?
You really excited about moving to that next step, man.
Because that's the core gameplay.
There's all kinds of games. We're playing a game right now.
We are still technically in the preamble.
Yeah.
I mean, it also makes a point that it sounds like each player creates either a new period or event. It sounds like it's by standard one and done.
Well, if we were here to play the rules correctly, it wouldn't be the Electric Dice podcast. That's not the biggest, but is that visible on screen?
On screen?
Let me see.
On screen.
Yeah, that works.
I can go a little bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's loading for me. My thing is behind.
I'll be right back. Continue without me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a little bit better.
The other thing I'll say about like whether or not we should move on to the next part of gameplay is we've got a lot of periods that don't have a lot of events in them, so I think that might be something worth exploring a little bit more deeply.
The next part of the game has a specific way of playing where you pick a focus, and then we as a group fill things into that focus, so it'll be a lot less like, here's a thing way over here, and here's a thing way over here, and more of us defining a grouping more together.
Yeah, and I think that's where you get a lot of.
This to you, Amanda, but I want you to put a thing in there. Unless you did already, and I missed it.
What thing?
Oh yeah, no, she just put in talking about the Moon Society with sustaining life.
Okay, good. Sorry, that was all.
I put another thing in there.
Whalers.
For you.
Oh, hell
Whalers
yeah.
on the moon. We carry a
harpoon.
But there are no whales, so we tell tall tales and sing our whaling tune.
Not copyrighted.
Happy to have that one out of the way.
It is in like the very like loosest sense of the word.
If we get sued for that,
dude, if
I don't
Matt
think
Groening
anyone
wants to come on the podcast and tell me to stop stealing his art,
please come join our Discord channel.
basically,
Yeah.
like, I'll count that as
I
a
mean
win.
that sounds
well,
worth it.
well,
I mean, that might be a good way to get some publicity.
right. Well, we're
True.
not heeding Tom's advice and playing on without him. I just got confirmation that Hen Harbor is the animal shelter that is getting impacted by wildfires. So Hen Harbor, we're gonna send you some cold hard cash at the end of the stream tonight, and I just want you to know that all of your chickens are in my thoughts.
There may even be some events here that we have talked about that just haven't been written down. Like Tristan, you had under the Interstellar Highway being established. What you can type that one out if you want, because I think you had a specific name.
Are we? Station. I didn't actually have. I think I just called it the last stop, but I mean.
Okay. Well, yeah.
As long as. Is that all right? I already put in a period though.
Give me a dot.
I added an event.
It's fine. There's
I feel like we're playing this kind of loosey-goosey, so...
Yeah, we're in the preamble where things are loosey-goosey.
Hit Control-Shift-8.
I'm sorry, what?
Control-Shift-8.
What is with this nonsense? Control-Shift-8.
Stop. And space...
Yeah, now it's... Now this is just like a game. What's Hungry Hippos, right? Where just everyone's slamming as much as they can into the dock as fast as possible.
I mean,
I don't even have it up on my computer.
Oh no, the dot went away.
No,
oh, there it's back.
BRB 1 sec.
Sorry,
Thank you. Oh, the formatting is actually very nice.
Degree here.
Are we able to do, aside from the dots, even more specific things about those events?
Yeah, if you tab once you're within a dot, it makes a
another
little
enter
square.
and then
heck yeah! Oh, that's good. Dot test. Let's see. The last stop.
Are we just typing things? Because I got things I can type.
No, I'm sorry. I was goofing. Sorry. I just saw that people were typing and I wanted to join in.
Are there events under yes column, or are there things under the yes column that can be put into thing?
I think we actually had most of there's a giant hive planet which could maybe that has something to do with the migration, but that also feels like something
that one just exists. So it doesn't talk about discovery, although you put
the gate appeared within the atmosphere.
Okay, that's the last stop.
Port town. Yeah, and I just put the last stop, space station, city port. I don't know what to call the thing, and that's probably why I called the last stop.
So I've got one. We already have a bunch of events under space travel is developed, but I kind of want to add another one there for a science. Hold on, hold it. A scientist. That's not what I wanted. A scientist discovers the magic in the stars.
Ooh. Is that?
I like that.
Based on
before or after Moon Society?
I'm putting.
We live in a society.
I think it could happen with either. Oh, actually, would this happen before space travel is developed? Because.
Well, I thought one of the things that was discussed was it's by having to use the stars to travel through space and navigate that it kind of was like, wait a second, when these things happen as we're traveling, magic happens.
I kind of thought of it as like we harness the magic we discover to give flight to our ships.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, and the
either.
Yeah, I think it makes sense earlier actually. Then.
Do you want to do it under the gate appears then if it's before we use it to develop space travel?
I think the way that I'm thinking, or that we're all thinking about the period, like where the beginning and end of the period is maybe a little too restrictive. Like space travel is developed can include the development of that space travel.
Oh,
so
yeah, no, that makes
discovers
sense.
The magic in the stars would be part of that.
I imagine period as ending with, hey, like, I imagine the space travel is developed period, including everything from, oh, wow, what's that big weird light in the sky, to, we got there and it's full of shit we can steal.
Mm-hmm.
So I changed it to space travel as the period. I
Yeah.
also have a question. The we thought we were alone in the universe as we know it, that's a start and end kind of thing. Those exist outside of periods, right?
Those technically are periods.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They're periods.
They're just the first and the last. They're the bounds of our timeline, but they are still periods.
Yeah. Like, you can do something under... You could do an event under We Thought We Were Alone Until the Gate Appeared, and an event under The Universe We Know Is Consumed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, that was... I had another... I don't want to...
So here it would be the universe is consumed by Gate.
Yeah.
Because we have the Gate.
It's sort of a... It's sort of a period / events, because they're both big and impactful enough. It also was big.
Well, you would put an event
for.
into it, right? Which an event would be like, we use the most high tech ship with the most powerful wizards to try and jump into another dimension, and then we would potentially role play that scene of like, hit the button, Kronk, right?
Wrong button.
I honestly, I like that one. If we want to just write that down.
I mean, that would also be
had
like
an idea, Amanda.
I'm sorry.
Unless you had a thought about something there.
Well, so it just made me think we should put down the place being consumed as a thing, and taking from the yes column, it's noted magic manifests to fill technology gaps, which means we said that's because the gate appeared, so that's something we should probably notate after the gate appearing as well, right?
Hey, that feels like a weird thing to because I don't imagine that it was like we have technology and all of a sudden it starts glowing and it's like, oh, this technology is better. I think it's more for like, we only want technology to be so advanced, and we sort of use magic as like, we don't have computers, but we have magic.
Yeah, we have big psychic octopus that we keep in a tank.
Yeah. Like, it feels less of an event, or like, it doesn't seem like an event period or whatever the third one was. It's just like how it's all worked out.
It's a trend that goes on over the whole period, over the whole time, right? People are constantly improving things. And
upon that scientist discovering magic in the stars, they're like, well, technology can only do this much stuff, and because we have access to it, this magic may as well do that, Like, why do you need circuit boards when a dude can shoot lightning? I don't know.
I get that, but I think that was us deciding, or Zach deciding that magic didn't exist before the gate.
I didn't interpret it that way. I believe, because if we establish that magic comes from the stars, I think the way that I understood it was like the magic always existed in the stars. Our us trying to develop space travel to reach the gate is what led to us discovering that there was magic in the stars, but it was already there before the gate existed.
Yeah,
I think it was psionics that we found when we went through the gate. I do remember that getting tossed around a little bit.
Yeah, and psionics were discussed, and there's no mind controlling.
Yeah. Well, so here's
that
the other
I know
thing.
Is off the table.
Just because something's on the palette doesn't mean it has to be put into the game.
Yes.
It just means that we're specifically saying this is okay, this is a thing we don't want to do. But there is a lot of confusion there, because I think it was gods exist, but not in a way that like impact actual physical things.
It was religion existed. I don't know that we'd established that God existed. I think religion existed.
Religion exists, but it was
gods.
The only one about gods was a no. Yeah. Which means either A, they're not intervening, or B, they're not there. Either way can result in no divine intervention.
No divine intervention. Yeah, I mean, when we were talking about that, I took that to mean, Zeus will not appear before you and tell you to drop to your knees and be not afraid.
I mean, he would never do that. He's too nice of a guy.
I also made a point, and I put it as the no divine intervention to be an easier phrase. That also includes no one is doing magic because they're a cleric. No one's getting power from the gods are not showing up. nothing is happening because of the gods.
Okay. Anyway, we gotta move past it.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to clarify.
Can I ask a question, Ian? Because I
Sure.
missed a part of it, but when we're talking about magic and scientists discovering magic in the stars, did magic exist, but almost as like a kind of wild thing that no one could like really harness or control, almost like sorcerers existed before? They could do magic but didn't know why or how or where it came from, and then now like the gate opening and like the scientists discovering the source of magic leads to more like the study of it and actually more people being able to harness that power and use it. Is that what you're thinking? Or
so that I think is a question that I would pose to the group. Do we think that like people were using magic before we discovered it came from the stars, or did we not have access to it until we started to try and like tap into it directly?
The way I looked at it was like the reason we realized this whole magic thing was we were interacting with the stars more and more as it became more and more necessary. Like it was there, but if you're not interacting with the stars and doing these certain things in a certain way that causes the magic to spring forth from them, how is it showing up? Like you might get like weird events like as astronomers or whatever doing like star charts, weird stuff might happen, but like average Joe Schmo on the street isn't going to be invoking the stars. Like it sounds like magic is a very intentional thing. You are doing this thing regarding the stars, you are making magic happen. It doesn't feel like it's stumbled upon.
yeah, I guess in my mind it's like now people can do kind of what they want. They know how to harness the magic, but before you had somebody who could just, they didn't know why or how, but they could create like a fire or something like that. No full scope of it, but this is very much a you thing. So that was my question, but I'm looking for kind of you to answer that.
I honestly I like that idea too. Based on what you were saying, Dan, that the idea that it was present, it's just we weren't able to really harness it until we started analyzing this stuff and realizing, oh, all this weird stuff that happens, there's more.
There's an explanation to it.
It's because he's a Virgo.
So it would make sense that like early history, then it would be not events, not periods, but scenes of like random things of like this person it like has like seer, like was a weird outcast thing because they had these abilities that people didn't understand, and then over time as people studied the stars more, you'd see things happening with people who study the stars more, like being able to do things, and then it's a learning and learning and learning, and that it's like a common occurrence now that people understand.
And it could even be like the gate brings an enhancement or a more powerful magic through it because there's even more stars that like create this network and web that connects together.
This feels like something that's not part of our timeline, but definitely we should write down somewhere at some point.
Non-timeline stuff gets a little funky.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put a reminder for myself at the bottom of the document of like
magic stars.
Did we want to try and start?
Yeah, I think we got to do something. We're spending a lot of time not doing the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So we did all the starting new game stuff. We can start through an actual turn with a focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On to overview of play. First, we get to decide who will be the starting player, known as the Lens.
Dave,
all right,
you want to be
as everyone at home watching, we're starting now.
It definitely feels like that.
We're at playing the game now.
Oh, goodness. I mean, I don't think I know the game any better than anybody else, but I don't mind starting. So if
Have you played it ever before?
I have played it, but I played it in my own way, which was not this way. So let's.
I
see.
mean, that's more than us.
So
visible object to remind everybody that you are the lens. Yep, there you go.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, and now whoever takes the lens over from me, you have to come to my house and take this.
I mean,
we'll
have
the eternal lens.
Talismans.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, so to become the lens, I have an object, and I must declare the focus. So the focus is the part of history we're going to explore right now. And then, so that is to be, right, I pick one period.
So if the next page says picking a focus, you can jump backwards and forwards in time all across the history.
Okay.
Keep everyone playing the same game. It's a unifying theme. A focus can be anything: a person, a place, a thing, an institution, an event, a period, a concept, anything you want. You can use something that it was already come up with. You can pick something new. You can.
I don't understand how you could do this across all the time. If you pick a person, you're pretty much stuck with their lifetime, aren't you?
Well, so.
Or anything like about them and what they've done. Like if you pick that person that went missing.
So Dave, as a suggestion, one thing that you might pick as a focus is I'm trying to remember the name of it. The
Institute.
ZYDO Institute.
The ZYDO
Institute.
I guess that's fair.
Because it even says like something like a.
Sure.
What was their definition of focus? An institution.
That works.
Yeah,
that works. That's a good cheaty way to do it. So okay, so yeah.
When in doubt, there's a when in doubt.
We will make the focus the ZYDO Institute, and then each player is going to take a turn creating either a period, an event, or a scene. What you create must relate to the focus.
Do we want to notate this at the end of the document, or
what's that?
So when you declare a focus, you make a period, event, or scene to show where you're talking about. So just plot your focus somewhere on the timeline.
Gotcha.
Yeah, lens. You can also create two things on your turn.
Sure.
Well, assuming they're nested in each other.
Yeah. So I don't think I want to answer here what went wrong with that that ill-fated jump.
Yeah.
But I think I think I'm only going to do one because I think that would be the only thing I could do.
Yeah. And at the end, you also get to have the final say and add one more thing.
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe by then, if we feel like it will help us, we'll do it. Okay. So we thought we were alone until the gate appears. The gate appears, which is light, right? And we have. So I think the first focus is going to be the ZYDO Institute. Freaking cats pushing to get us to that gate, right? They aren't necessarily the first ones through it, although I guess maybe we did already specify that. But that comes later, right?
Yeah, that's
so ZYDO Institute forms to like push forth the idea that not humanity, because we're not humans, needs to get to that freaking gate.
They're like the leading force. Like they're heading technology and stuff like that.
They could be the ones to like unify the guilds under the common cause.
So is ZYDO a guild? I mean, I'm sort of assuming that they are. They make sense to be like one of the so-and-so number of factions. Yeah.
Yeah, I see them as a guild. I see them as a very specific, like, ZYDO Institute, bringing you closer to the gate, or something like that.
Also, just for the sake of keeping things organized, do we want to do? Hold on.
Oh, like a current.
Lens, Dave.
Current focus. ZYDO. Yeah. That's probably a good idea.
So, Dave picked the focus. and he plotted it on the map. So step 2 is making history. Each player takes a turn creating either a period, an event, or a scene. Lens goes first, and then we go around the table.
Yeah.
What you create must relate to the current focus. The lens can choose to create 2 things on their turn as long as they're nested within each other. And when you scroll down to making history, we already kind of know what that is at this point a little bit. A period, an event, or a very specific scene or instance that's happened.
I think I'm just doing the 1 right now, because especially since it comes back around to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we go left around the table. Well, I guess that would be clockwise.
Yeah.
I guess it would be Amanda.
So yeah, Amanda.
Amanda, Tristan, Danla, Tom, Ian.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sorry, Ian.
No, it's all good. I was concerned I was saying lots of things before, so this works.
No, I think we've all done pretty well.
In between, a scientist discovers magic in the stars and Moon Society sustaining life. I'm going to put down that ZYDO largely funds the Moon Society project.
Okay.
Because they're all about wanting space travel.
Yeah. It also, I know it's not my turn anymore, but something that's really interesting to me is the timing of this and this, which why would you not, why can't I want to highlight 2 things, damn it.
I can see it.
Hold control.
I did, it didn't work.
ZYDO Institute founded and
weird.
scientist discovers magic.
I'm not bad at computers. I just think that's super interesting. Calling them the ZYDO Institute is probably should have been like, what would become the ZYDO Institute is formed, right?
Oh.
When Ugak pointed at the sky and said, I too will swim through that hole or something. Right? Like,
beautiful.
Probably calling them ZYDO Institute is a little, I don't know. I think I'm fine with it, but I do think it's funny to think about.
Yeah.
I changed my Moon Society to just blanket Moon Society and putting it under as a scene that, like, there's a point in time where ZYDO Institute largely funded this project.
Sure.
Ooh, does that mean you get to act out a scene with someone? Is that how this works?
No, the scene would need to be like the night before it opens to the public. There's a reactor leak, or the largest funding pulls out, or something. A scene is when we need to understand why something happened. Which I think is actually directly from the book.
Choose characters, reveal thoughts.
You stop playing the scene as soon as you know why. And that's why I personally don't want to do what happened to the ship, because I want that to happen in gameplay. I don't want us to answer it today, because I think that'll be one of the settings mysteries. Just like, boop, gone.
And with this scene, like, we can understand why they largely funded it, because they want to go through the space hole.
Yeah,
this is one step closer.
Right. I mean, I think there's, just like Ian has said, there's a couple different spots here where there's like scenes are just ready to jump out at us, right? Like, because someone could literally take this immediately and be like, ZYDO loses all their money in the Moon Project, right? That could literally be the next person's thing.
When you scroll down more, it even goes into further depth on what a period is, what a event is, and what a scene is.
Yeah.
Because we read the book.
Cool. All right, you're good.
All right, next.
It's you.
All right, so I think I'm actually going to add something into the War of the All Dragon.
Nice.
Just because, and I'm trying to think of exactly how to phrase it, because, like, and I almost want to have it get a little dark, a little messed up. Probably not to the point of a scene, but something about, because, like, I imagine the ZYDO Institute sees all these people just in, like, closed space, and they're developing space travel, but they're ignoring the gate. They are not moving towards the gate. They're just hunting space, like, monsters. This doesn't like this doesn't help progress their goal. But I'm not sure. Like, I'm trying to think of what they would be doing about it.
Well, this is. I think we have the War of the All Dragon after getting through the gate, right? Or do you just mean like the goals of the Gate Society?
Yeah, like it's like we've been through it, but this is before the highway's established. This is before you can regularly just go in. Yeah, going there once is one thing, but like if they're like, yeah, they want to get through that damn space hole, but they're probably not just gonna be like, oh, we went through once, we're fine.
What did you put down? I don't see it written anywhere.
I haven't. I'm still trying to figure out how to phrase it. Like, I guess I could just do like ZYDO fights against space poaching doesn't feel very intuitive or like it adds all that much. But like it's difficult. Here, I'm gonna add my thing tab. Is this gonna? Nope.
No.
How do I
click onto the one that's empty?
Yep.
And then press enter.
So I guess you're really just trying to figure out how they kind of rein it back
what are
in.
they? Yeah. What are they doing? Okay. This is real funky.
If you put it in, I'll fix it for you.
Yeah. Thank you. Because I want it after the Drake being spotted. Like, oh, there. Oh, thank you. So, all right. So tell me if tell me if this is overstepping my bounds of creative control. And I'm thinking ZYDO Institute secret. So ZYDO secret. I almost want it to be like ZYDO secretly works to bring the dragon closer, get it to come closer in some way.
Yeah, you're completely allowed to do that.
Yeah, secretly works to, bring it closer.
Right. And now you're getting
summon the dragon
to a scene, which is interesting.
Oh, would this be a scene or?
I don't think it's currently a scene. I'm saying it's close to a scene.
Oh yeah, ZYDO secretly works to. What's the exact? I'm trying to just think of the word that kind of encompasses it. I'll go with summon the Drake.
Draw it.
Summon the All Dragon.
Coerce.
Oh yeah.
ZYDO unknowingly summons the All Dragon.
I'm thinking there's some intent behind it, but it might be they don't know what they are unleashing.
Yeah. Well, they want to talk to it.
Yeah,
right. They want to they're like, hey, one of these guys. Some of these might be intelligent. We should communicate with them. Try and explain this whole situation.
Yeah, ZYDO secretly works to summon the All Dragon. Maybe partially that. Maybe partially if there's some big extra scary monster, it might scare people away from all this space monster hunting. Like ulterior motives. ZYDO's doing some things in the shadows.
Damn right.
And that is good for me, Ian.
No.
So I changed mine from
Dan
Latami.
Oh, I have it in a different layout.
We're looking at stream order, not Discord order.
Yes.
So I guess mine kind of goes pretty similarly to ZYDO funding the space travel initiatives, but ZYDO largely becomes a guild because it's they develop their wizards or whatever are the first technomancers, are the first ones who really discover how to integrate magic into machines. Their guild kind of is not so much in control of that, but they're the ones who have the most
they're monopolizing
advancement in it. Yeah. Which kind of, when you were talking about yours, Tristan, I was in my mind, I was thinking maybe they start withholding space drives from other guilds or something like that. But I like the summoning the dragon. But
I
When you're
mean, they
trying to
can
think
do
of,
multiple.
like,
If they're secretly doing one thing, they could be secretly doing others.
yeah.
And they could be largely funding space travel initiatives so that they can have their hands on everybody else's technology.
Mm-hmm. ZYDO's a power player here for now.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that they are just kind of like the creators of space drives. Like they have the technomancers as like that's their claim to fame. That's what they have the most research into and kind of where they specialize.
Cool. I like it.
I don't know where to put that, but
Would
somewhere
it be
probably in like
between Magic and the Stars and funding the space travel? Like,
yeah,
the magic's been discovered. They're studying it. They're using it to make the technology. They're like, okay,
Yeah.
this technology is starting to exist. Let's try and fund more.
right.
Um,
They develop technomancers and eventually create the first space drive.
Mhm.
Okay.
Ooh, I like that.
I heard you say something, Ian.
well, I was just trying to figure out the best way to phrase it, and then Dan said that, so I'm just going to say what he said because it was good.
It's probably not a flattering angle. I have to stand a moment. It's a very unflattering angle, my goodness.
Sorry, that's not dark.
Howdy.
Also, just this has been bugging me, but Dave, is largest drake ever spotted an event?
I think so.
I don't
I thought it was
remember
this-
now.
Oh, I thought it would be a
Like-
scene.
Right, it's deformatted.
I think the scene is what you do with that after, but the event
Yeah.
is the basically
Okay.
the all dragon appears
Mhm.
or whatever.
It's like this is them spotting it. It feels more just like a wait a second, and then there's all the murmur and hubbub. It's not, hey, what's that up in the sky? Oh, it's a
Yeah.
dragon.
Because I think
Is
with
it
a
a lighter
scene
or
you like
darker?
really play it out a little
It's
bit.
odd. But
I
Is
think
it light or
again,
dark?
I think it'd be dark.
It's
Mhm.
probably dark, but
Crap, that
for me
lost
it's
us a viewer,
light.
I'll stop.
Or
Yeah.
it could, well,
I think
I
it's
think
like
it's light to a degree because it
Yeah.
almost heralds the end of the war. But maybe
I
not.
mean, at the same time, it's also like the general tone of it. This is a war, and that's the biggest, baddest thing around.
Yeah, you're probably not happy to see
Yeah.
it.
Like
I am. They are not.
you are, but people as a whole are probably
Yeah.
like, uh-oh.
It's very dark.
Mhm.
It's the dark times.
Yeah, I mean, there's a real mix of light and dark, like, and that's how you get fun story.
I guess it's not quite as bad as I thought. It definitely starts light and goes dark.
Oh yeah, but like,
We get some light
That's-
with the interstellar highway, but we definitely need some more light later in there. And I think that's where I don't know if we put it in there, the period that I was talking about, of like we discover the gates expanding, but maybe the ZYDO or some like the guilds reunify to control the spread of the gate. So maybe it starts as a dark thing, but there's a light period that follows.
Sure.
So who's up?
Tom is next.
Tom.
Tom's
Everyone's
All right.
favorite Tom.
I got one.
All right, Tom's here.
What do you get? I'm putting mine in now.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Ooh, ZYDO builds.
Hold on, sorry.
Ooh. I'm so happy that ZYDO is in both the beginning and end periods.
I mean, they have to be by definition.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, but like heck, in the Interstellar Highway, someone could have said, ZYDO explodes and is gone now.
Yeah, but then literally the next person could put them back in there.
True, they were secretly not dead.
Mm-hmm. Well, technically, you're not supposed to
Ooh.
invalidate anything anyone does, but you can also
Yeah.
play with all of history.
Exactly.
Yeah. ZYDO builds a Tesseract communicator to try and intercede with the higher dimensional beings who live in gate space. Maybe
Gate
that
space.
goes above. Sorry, that goes in the one above. Now that I look at it again.
Oh, the gate
Squid.
expanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging with us.
Is that light or dark?
We'll say light because it's sort of a glimmer of hope, right? That we managed to break through to these, or not break through to these sort of higher dimensional super beings who live inside of the folds in space time.
Ooh.
Yeah,
The
that's
plebeians?
fun.
Is Irene in there?
Yeah, the
They
plebeian.
might be the Pleiadians. They might be the Pleiadians. I don't know.
Who knows?
That's not
That's
what
for
they
the
call
DM.
themselves.
But put a big asterisk on that one.
Yeah. Nice.
Right.
Nice.
Now it's Ian's turn.
Ian time.
Is it me?
Well,
Oh, jeez. I thought I was going to be all prepared when it got to me. But I am
Never.
going to call for a scene.
Hey, we finally did it.
And
Dun,
I
dun,
want to
dun.
see the moment of discovery when the scientist figures out that, holy crap, all this weird stuff that's been going on, like people shooting firebolts or like telekinesis, or no, well, telekinesis, psionics. Anyway, I want to see the moment where the scientist is looking at their data and is realizing, wait a second, all of this stuff comes from the stars.
Right.
And
So
so
this is a ZYDO scientist?
Yes, this is a ZYDO scientist.
Because the scientist wasn't specified where they were from, and considering they're the ones who are developing technomancers, it makes sense.
So there's a process to making a scene.
Yes, and I was reading up ahead about that, so if you allow me to read.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, making history, scenes. Scenes are the smallest units of history. They show us exactly what happens at a specific place, at a specific time, with specific people. Scenes are also different because instead of creating them unilaterally, all the players join in and role play to determine what happens. You give up absolute control. So I'm giving up absolute control. But in return, you get to decide what everyone else is going to role play about, turning everyone's attention to a part of the history that interests you. To create a scene, you first pose a question, something you want to find out about the history. The goal of the scene is to decide the answer to that question. We start off the scene without an answer and discover it through play. The question can tell us something crucial to history. For example, why did the king betray his country? It can give us a window into what life was like in that time and place. For example, are the asteroid miners happy with their rugged frontier lives? Or just examine something that isn't important in the grand scheme of things, but is interesting to players. For example, did the soldier get to marry his hometown sweetheart? If you want to make a scene, but you want to answer the question yourself instead of letting the other players participate, you can choose to dictate the scene instead. When you dictate a scene, you describe what happens and narrate the answer to your own question, just like making a period or event. Making dictated scenes is covered later. I am not going to dictate the scene, but I will establish the question. So to make a played scene, don't say anything about what you have in mind, just follow these steps. State the question, set the stage, choose characters, and reveal thoughts. And they've got this little, like, untap symbol, kind of, next to choose characters and reveal thoughts. The refresh symbol indicates choices made by each player going around the table to the right, the opposite direction of normal play. All of those decisions are made by the player making the scene. So actually, do I even... Yeah, I first pose the question. Okay.
Yeah. And then I think you set the stage, like, where is this happening?
Yeah. So the question, I think the question would go underneath a ZYDO scientist has a moment of eureka.
So wouldn't you just pose that as a question instead? Like, no? Oh, sorry. I thought I saw someone shake their head.
What?
No.
What is...
Well, he's got to ask the question, so let's let him ask the question first.
Yeah. So the question that I want to ask is, does the scientist think this is a good discovery or a bad discovery?
Ooh.
I think there's got to be a tiny bit more to it than that. because I'm trying to read through this right now. Because unless you're banning the scientist, I don't know how we don't reveal that very quickly. So I think it has to be. I think the question of is it a good or bad discovery is fine, but I think it has to be in the context of like who should be allowed to know, or how should it be trained, or how should it be, you know what I mean?
Well, so one of the examples they have is, are the asteroid miners happy with their rugged frontier lives?
Sure.
And so you could make the same argument for that.
That's multiple people.
Well, yeah. So this is the thing: is I still need to set the stage, and
Gotcha.
so
Okay.
I'm not gonna isolate this to just the scientist is the only character in this scene.
Okay.
Because we also choose characters and stuff,
Sure.
and so the stage setting that I will do is that first of all, we need a name for at least this scientist.
I think that would be when you choose, because I'd assume you would choose him as your character.
Okay.
Well, he doesn't have to choose him as a character.
No, I'm actually I don't need to play in the scene. It's all up to you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, that's if I'm understanding this correctly.
Oh, I thought you could, but
It's made by
you're
each player.
I think it's either.
Yeah.
I think it starts.
You can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's made by each player. You're one of the players.
Yeah. But to set the stage, I've got to figure out how you friggin' discover magic in the stars. Let's say that it's how many?
Do you maybe want that to be the question? Like, not to premise reject here, but maybe is that a more is that a different?
Yeah. How did he do it?
What was it that finally connected the dots, kind of thing?
If you guys think that's something more that you'll have more fun role playing, then yeah, let's go with that.
Is that okay with you?
I just think it brings disparate pieces of information together in a way that'll help us.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we can kind of still even answer that question within this. Like once it's discovered, like there could be the dialogue of like, do I even want to share this? Like, should people know about this power?
So the question would be, how did they discover it?
Sounds good.
Okay. Then to set the stage, how many people do we have in this call besides me?
6.
5 six total. Me.
Yeah. So really quick question to all of you: should I be a part of the scene? Again, I'm not sure if I'm understanding this.
You can. So it says each player. I think that does include you.
Okay.
Like,
so we'll say it's a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a library or where is a room that scholars would congregate in, or scientists? Like
it could be a lab,
a study,
observatory.
If we're into the like the 19th or 17th, 16th, the that aesthetic, then it could be a coffee shop.
Is magic discovered in a coffee shop?
In a Starbucks, interestingly enough.
I think the fact that statement is so great that I think maybe it is.
I think that this could be like an after hours conversation. Like we're all living in different labs or different offices, what have you. We've all sort of knocked our brains together for a day of drinking frog coffee or whatever beverage we consume. And we're just we're sort of shooting the shit, reading the news, talking about our latest discoveries with each other.
Did you call it frog grog?
Frog, I did now. Ooh. Sure.
Okay.
Good.
You cut out, and that's just what I heard.
I heard frog cough.
Okay.
Frog coffee, I think, is what he said. But
Plah plah.
Oh no. All right, so we have our stage. We have our question, and I assume starting with Ian, and going reverse the direction we just went. People pick characters.
Yeah, it says to the right. So I will pick last.
Set the stage.
But the person setting the stage can say there's specific characters that people can't choose to pick.
Yep, they can ban.
Yeah, like
I'm
nobody
not
can be the coffee shop person.
I was actually just thinking about that. Like, I'm not going to ban anyone. If you want to be the coffee shop person, then you can totally do that, and I think that would be great.
They spill the creamer in just the right way.
So yeah, choose characters. Does everyone get to choose their own characters? Is that what we?
Yeah.
You can stat some out, or we can pick on characters that have existed in the world. Although this is our first time, so there's not any.
Unless you really want me to like assign roles, I'm cool with each person picking their own character.
I will drop in
We're
chat the
turning
best name
into an
generator
improv.
that has ever existed and will ever exist.
Thank
cool.
you.
I was just looking for a good one.
That is the best name generator that has and ever will exist.
All right, default name. Ooh, holy moly! Serious, fun, specialized.
Liz.
Oh gosh! Wait, you can do it by letter?
Kinda.
S.A. etc. I don't know how they do it, but okay.
They might have just like those letters occur frequently.
Gotcha. This does
If you're
look
looking
very
for
nice.
different types of phonetics.
Yeah,
Alternate.
the mouse coffee waiter.
So the person to the right of the player making the scene goes first, so the person making the scene goes last with character picking.
Okay. So
I took
Tom.
it as Ian started and then it ended with me. But...
No,
Nope.
I like the idea of me being last. So Tom, you get to pick the first character.
Oh, I'm playing Chiel, spelled Chiel, and I think I am involved in the field of gate astronomy, specifically trying to like look at stuff through the gate because we haven't gotten there yet, right? If my understanding of the timeline is correct. So I am a gate observer. I literally just like one of the people who is just looking at the gate, watching its fluctuations, and occasionally glimpsing stuff on the other side through it.
Dreaming of going through that damn gate.
Yeah. Although I'm like an intern. I've only been there a little bit.
This is my first week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Well,
just invent everything.
Listen. The gate is not always super active. So there's a lot of time where you're just watching a blip in the sky kind of not do anything. And that's what undergrads are for.
That's true. They have to stay up all night and deal with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Next person. Danla. Where are you gonna be?
Okay. I'm gonna play Ernest. Urnust. He's just kind of a bystander in the coffee shop who he's like a local who's listening in on the conversation. And just like keeps shouting nonsense into the conversation, but occasional wisdom. He's almost like the crazy person in the shop that most people ignore, but sometimes he has some real insight.
On to me, I believe.
Yes.
All right, I will be playing Samlai, S-A-M, not dash the whatever apostrophe L-Y-E, because that's a great name. Who is actually the barista here, and I imagine if I'm gonna be great.
Yeah, speak to what
I
you know.
imagine the scientists come
Can you
here
do
with
those
some
foam things for us,
frequency.
please?
Which thing?
The foam things with the leaves.
Latte art?
Yes, please.
Yes, of course. I've been practicing. But like, I imagine, and I'm good, and I know my regulars, and I know all of you are scientists, and we've chatted before.
That's adorable.
Here at Star Friends Coffee, I don't know.
Starbolts.
Starbolts. Here at Astral Gold Coffee.
I like Star Friends coffee better.
Star Friends. For
Samurai.
kids.
For kids.
Yeah.
God, it seems like you can't go to a planet these days and there's not a Star Friends on every continent.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I need my
Dude.
No. I can't think of one.
They have the
Don't
damn
talk to
things
me.
down.
Spring
They-
and Stars.
They're all called Frappuccinos still.
Yeah, they're still called.
Oh yeah,
Frappuccinos.
no, that's copyright. We have that down. Don't worry. We have already built a Star Friends coffee on the other side of the gate.
First
It'll be
thing that
waiting
went
there
in.
for you.
All right, Amanda, you got one?
I am. Nay. But I will stop typing. So this stage is just a bunch of scientists in a coffee shop talking, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So far, we have one scientist.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
No, you have one
A
intern.
ZYDO.
Excuse you? Sorry.
I'm a ZYDO scientist, and I've got a lot of pressure. Like it's a lot of like top down, stressful, heavy stuff, and like we're
Bad
not making a lot of
leadership.
headway.
Yeah.
And I'm not actually with the group of people sitting at the table. I'm actually a couple tables over eavesdropping.
Is anybody? There's not really a group anymore.
So like one of you could be at the bar. Like you guys could be at the bar.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't all be outsiders, so there
Yeah.
does have to be a group.
Like
It's okay
Dave can be the group.
if we
Go
get
ahead,
to
just
meet
carry
all.
this team.
if
But-
one of
So
you
I
like
want to be
Somebody give me a
the
dot.
person. I want to be the person, the ZYDO person, that
Steals
when
the
we say
idea.
discovers, yeah, we really mean stole the idea, the institution.
Damn.
Oh,
So ZYDO had nothing to
Yeah.
do with it. They just heard it.
Yeah, they took
Oh.
the work of somebody next to, like somebody in the
Oh,
coffee
wow.
shop.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're
Ooh.
supposed to do that quite yet, but we are learning.
yeah.
Okay. And now, Dave, it's your turn.
Uh-huh.
There can be more characters
somebody give me
other
a
than
dot.
just like.
Yeah, this is
You're-
just who we're playing.
oh, did you use a character generator?
No, I wrote that.
Oh,
The
I
mighty
used,
chairlift
I used a
can
name
only
generator.
dream of stars.
You ever see that owl that has like the cool Starfield eyes?
The galaxy eyes.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what Iran Esdanester. Yeah, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, we're not humans.
Yeah, I'm my big, 17 foot long, 4 foot tall lizard tromping around in a Space Friends or whatever. But I will talk about the stars.
I'm a newt type. Little slimy dude sitting on the table like 2 tables down from you.
Mm-hmm.
Scribbling in my notepad.
Hmm.
So you said you were a newt. Something.
I said newt type, so it's like
Okay,
slimy amphibian kind of thing. That's not quite a frog.
gotcha.
Tongue's a crab.
Crab.
Okay, so
Crab.
uh,
Oh shoot. What? Sam lies some kind of mer person. No, there's no humans.
You can be.
I mean, I think you
Fish
could be. Yeah.
He's yeah. I
I
just
didn't
want
want
to
explicitly
be the
like human generic thing.
yeah.
I think mer person.
No,
is fine.
I was
Yeah,
just
everybody
further.
thank Danla for that.
I know it's fun. No, I'm just further stealing the logo from a particular coffee restaurant.
God.
Yeah. No, I do genuinely enjoy the idea of, despite my other character also like possibly being this some sort of cephalopod
We got to get to the scene.
barista. Yeah.
we gotta get to the scene.
All right. Doesn't matter. I'll say things.
My character is Yibiri Denouth. I made the last name up myself, but the other one came from the name generator. And Yibiri is a fish person, since yes. And they're someone who makes star charts.
Step 4 is kind of cool.
And they actually have like some of their charts with them as this discussion is happening. So I'm thinking that Cheel, Yibiri, and Aaron are at the same table together.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I am asking people about the stars and trying to talk about them because I have never seen them. It is an all-consuming obsession.
Okay.
Because it works well for the scene.
All right. So, scene step 4: reveal thoughts. Each player states one thing their character is thinking about the upcoming scene. Start to the right of the player making the scene and continue to the right. Your thought could reveal what your character is going to do or highlight what your character expects to happen. Revealed thoughts are a powerful tool for influencing the scene. They let you give the other players hints about where you want the scene to go. Don't reveal thoughts that answer the question before the scene even starts. You can hint or stack the deck, but don't give a definite answer. For example, the navigator wonders why they're really being sent to Corvus 4. He can't believe they'd send a ship all the way out here just to take spectrographic readings. Your thoughts can be about other players' characters, but you're only saying what your character thinks or believes. The other player gets to say what their character really did or is doing. And then once we do that, we're ready to play the scene. So, starting with you again, Tom, what is your character thinking about going into this scene?
Cheel is thinking about... Oh, good God. There's a plan to put... He's working on his... He's a graduate student. He's working on his thesis, which is the feasibility of building a mirror array to basically before we get a spaceship through the gate, we should put a big structure made out of mirrors on the far side so that we can look at the environment that the gate empties into sort of behind and around it, right? Because we don't want to drop people out of the gate and have them be like in the event horizon of a black hole or something horrible. So, but the problem is that the problem is that just moving anything like that through the gate is still prohibitively difficult and expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So right now it's a problem he'd like to find a way to solve.
And this is also before, I think this is before the first ship has even gone through the gate.
Yeah, we haven't even really created space flight, so maybe he just knows that's what he needs to do, but has no idea how to get there.
Some people. Big picture.
Yeah, you could be you're an astronomer, so you've been trying to observe this thing through telescopes, and you're like, I need something on the other side of it to get a better picture of it.
Yeah. Or just like the general concern that like we really don't know anything at all about what's on the far side of the gate, and therefore sending manned people through or sending anything through might just be sort of doomed, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Dan, what is your character thinking about?
He's thinking about, sometimes when you look at the stars...
No.
They do that thing that the old man in the woods does. They kind of look like that. Sometimes they do this shiny spectacle thing, and things glow and light on fire. He's thinking about how the stars remind him of Uguk, the hermit in the woods.
Yes, you remember Uguk, the first grunter to point up.
Yeah.
Wait.
Okay. Anything else for that?
Nope.
Okay. Tristan.
Samlai is probably just wants to try and have a nice conversation and maybe try and sell them something, make them buy a more expensive drink.
Damn.
Have a nice conversation and do an upsell.
You know, you can make that a large for an extra 50 cents.
No, he's not wanting to do larger sizes. He wants them to try like the nitrogen infused cold brews and like the weird fancy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The kelp latte.
The kelp latte, the like
it's
new
bruschetta,
deluxe
which means it's
latte
worthless.
art.
The kale cold brew.
The kaled brew, yeah. Like he wants to like have them try something new. That weird thing he's been working on.
Okay.
It's like they always come in and get the same thing.
Let's see if I can do a little more.
Okay, Amanda, what is your character thinking about?
My character is thinking about, like, it's so stressful at the Institute right now. Like, nobody is making headway on this project. And, like, they're not sure, like, they're gonna get fired if they don't come up with some passe report to, like, prove that, like, hey, I'm smart, let me, like, please don't, I'm useful still.
Please renew my grant.
All right.
Don't take away my grant money. It's not a loan. Can't afford to pay you back.
Dave.
Iran, no scientists can get to space. Iran, trick his way onto ship.
Oh my god.
I like Iran.
I hope Euron returns in other scenes in this period.
He could.
All right.
Who knows how long Aaron will live, too?
700 years.
Good.
Canon.
Exactly.
He is eternal.
Yeah.
Welcome to Microscope. It's canon now.
I imagine that there's an Ernest in every Star Friends too.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Yibbery.
Like, I don't want to tip my hand too much, but I do want to give us something to work with in terms of figuring out how magic was in the stars. But
you can stack the deck.
What I'm thinking about is like Denouth is he's like finding patterns in the star charts he's making, but he doesn't know why, and he doesn't know what they mean. And I don't know what exactly those patterns would be, but
I don't think you have to, just to say there are some. So, like, because I think one of the ideas there is, right, like, you're bringing them to other people to help you find it, right? You're like, I see it, but I don't understand it yet.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Because the question is, how is it discovered? And someone is going to cross that finish line, and then we're done with the scene.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I guess we're ready to start the scene then.
All right.
Oh God, the rules.
Yeah.
All right. And now I think we just...
Was there anyone who picked a background character because they're just trying to hang back?
I picture my background character as, like, he says something that maybe sparks an idea among the scientists, but he has really no clue what the hell he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just going to kind of get in their face and just talk about this crazy hermit guy, and maybe that's when they start thinking about magic or something. I don't know.
Sure.
Like I was saying, part of the problem is that the coherence field around the corona of the warp gate, it's all over the map. Like, sometimes it's at 4.5. I've seen it up at like a 6.8, though. It's crazy. And the thing is, there's nothing on our side that explains why it does that. It's not tied to sunspot activity. It's not tied to gravitational anomalies. Nothing we can observe on our side. So we have to assume it's something going on the far side. And that opens up like a whole crazy can of worms where, like, there could be crazy black holes or neutron stars or whatever sort of crazy nonsense. We got no idea what's on the other side of the dang thing. It's the wildest shit I ever seen. And it just makes me really nervous about the whole project, you know? Because, like, what if we send and he's just going to keep going on until somebody fucking says something, anything, God, please.
And I think we're in the scene now, so Denouth is just going to lean forward and go, chill. You've told us this so many times before. we haven't even gotten to the gate yet. How are we supposed to get something through it? I mean, I've been making all these star charts and trying to figure out the best navigation to get through it, but we still don't know how to like
right through
get up there.
You can go right through it.
Well, that's my point, is that I'm saying that are we rushing to, like, people are probably, like, how do we know that the gate is even, like, it's even possible to go through it? What if the gate opens in the corona of a star or something, or next to a black hole or something? Like, we could be investing a lot of time and blood, sweat, toil, and tears, but if we don't have some idea of what's on the far side, we might discover that it's not actually passable.
Bring big water.
Wait, that's just from The Land Before Time. Anyway.
Aaron, how would you know that there's great big water on the other side of the gate?
No, bring big water.
Bring big water?
Heat sink.
For heat sink.
Right, and that could help, but, like, what if it's, again, like, there's a million things it could be.
Okay, Chill, you're right. We need to get something, we need to find some way to see what's on the other side of the gate before we send anyone through. How do we get something up there? I'm trying to figure it out. Like, I'm a star chart maker. I'm not someone who deals with technology and that sort of stuff. We have our ships, and we know how to navigate the seas, and sometimes we use the constellations as ways to.
So at some point during this, if possible, Sam Lai walks up, maybe half paying attention to what you're saying, and interrupts with, "Hey, Cheel, hey, Yaberry, have you tried the Power of the Stars? Our newest latte?"
We're trying to figure out something wait, the what?
The Power of the Stars. Here at Star Friends Coffee, it's this big marketing ploy, but it's also really good coffee, harnessing the power of the stars.
And I think
it's just really well roasted.
Ernest chimes in. He comes up. He's like, "Oh, yo, yes, you. Speaking of constellations, you ever look at the stars? You know old Uguk. You ever look at the stars? And you look in his eyes, and you see the stars. They do the same thing. They light up. They flame up.
I wish to see the stars."
Ernest, please don't scare the regulars.
No, I mean it though. Sometimes
Nay's just 2 tables over, like, trying to get the barista's attention, but, like, you guys are just like
way too
mad.
loud.
Way too loud.
Sorry, I'll be right with you. Anyway, yes, the Power of the Stars. It's only three more space bucks than a standard beverage.
Sure, get them for the table. Whatever, I'll pay for it.
Yes.
Okay, Cheel, you're an astronomer. You have an idea about the stars, and like I make the charts. You're the one who actually studies them and their paths through the sky, and I'm sure a lot of the work that you do is the way that sailors and stuff are able to figure out ways to navigate during, like, when the stars are out. What if the same thing that we use to navigate here on the ground, what if it's not just like us observing the stars? What if the stars are actually leading us in the right direction more than that? There's so much... The power of the stars, there's so much power bound up in them. What if we could harness that, and that could take us to the gate?
When you were talking, like, Nay's very, like, distracted, not listening, but the more you go on and the more you're talking about power in harnessing, perking up a little bit, like staring around the other patrons and kind of, like, starts note-taking what you're saying.
At some point, if I get a moment, I'd probably go up to Nay, seeing you having waved me down. I'm like, "Excuse me, miss. Would you like to harness the power of the stars as well?" Okay.
Black coffee.
Okay.
The stars call us home. When you get closer, it drags you in like a tidal pool.
I'm gonna be honest, guys. This sounds like mumbo jumbo nonsense, but I mean, it's better. It's worth a shot, I guess.
You're talking about gravity, aren't you, Iran? You know what? Maybe it was a good idea to have dinner with you tonight. Anyway, maybe if
Gravity pull.
Maybe there is some way that we can, if we can figure out a way, because I feel like I'm on the verge of something. I just can't figure it out. Look at these charts that I've been working on. The patterns of the stars, the constellations that we use, they're too regular to just be random, just to be things that we made up to help us navigate in the sky. Maybe there's something more to them. Maybe there's... Wait a second. I'll just start like connecting dots between the stars.
Ernest is gonna like slam his coffee down and maybe spill a little bit on the chart, and is like peering over your shoulder. Is like, "Ooh, I recognize that name. That's that star that we saw blow up. Oh, Gook. Ooh, Gook makes things blow up like that. They go big flames everywhere."
How much suggestion can we have over each other's scenes and characters? Is it purely what we're doing?
I think everyone's supposed to be their own.
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe you can have like opinions about what the other people are doing, but you can't like actually say what they're doing.
Yeah,
I'll bring you guys over your lattes.
Right. What are you thinking, Amanda?
Oh, so it's like with Ernst spilling coffee all over Danauf's papers. Like, my person is hoping, like, oh, I need to get a hold of star charts. Like, maybe he's gonna throw them away because they're kind of ruined.
Yeah, the moment that stuff spills out, I'm like, wait a second. You keep talking about Uguk. Isn't he like some like weird wizardy dude out in the woods or something?
You?
Maybe we've been approaching this from the wrong direction the entire time. Maybe we should be looking at the histories that we have about like the strange stuff that's been happening in our world, like fires happening where there shouldn't be fires, things flying that shouldn't be flying. Maybe these constellations, they remind me of the marks left behind by the powers that have affected our world in ways that we can't explain.
Yeah, Cheel's pretty fucking dubious of this. He's gonna turn out to be wrong, but he's like, I think maybe you've either not enough coffee or way too much. Definitely one of the two.
Just the right amount of coffee.
If you need more coffee, remember, there's nothing the power of the stars can't do.
Didn't I
Star Friends coffee.
Didn't I order some for the table already?
I already brought it to you. It's right there. And
just immediately start chugging it.
Yeah. Yeah, so
right.
I want whatever my character's name is, Uran. Yeah, like tries to get up onto the table, but he's blind, and I think he's either gonna like knock the coffee cup so it like does more spirally patterns, or he like tracks something onto it, right, to like help keep, because it sounds like you're putting constellations together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like a mess, right? And he has put a few more marks or maybe connections together, but I don't. Obviously, he's not aware of it because he can't see.
Yeah, and I'm starting to think that we might need to be winding this scene down. So I'm gonna be looking at the stuff on the papers, and at first I was like furious at my star charts getting ruined, and then I start making the connection, and I'm just like, all right, bring me 5 more coffees. I'm gonna take the entire night to work on this, but I'm going to figure this out.
You got it. And so I'll head out. I do, however, just want to stop by Nay and kind of gesture over to this table where all this stuff is happening. I'm like, see, if you had the powers of the stars, you could do something like that, and imagine what you could do.
And if you'll allow me, I have the idea that like while Yuberi is like working late into the night trying to work out these equations and star charts and stuff, coffee actually isn't enough. And at some point, like all the other patrons have left except for Yuberi and Nay, and Yuberi
it's one of those 24-hour locations.
Yeah, and Yuberi, like his head starts swaying, and then he just sort of nods off onto the table with his star charts in front of him. And the only people left are like Nay and the barista.
So, like, as you're starting to doze off there, like, I'm in a, like, corner against the wall now, just, like, scribbling away furiously, like, it's like, I'm gonna lose this fucking grant. And I see you kind of dozing off, and, like, I look at, like, your piles of paper, and I see, like, my sketchbook and my balled up messes around my table, and then, like, it's like you're passing out, and soon as Samlight, like, they're at the counter kind of doing, like, the
I'm not paying any attention to you. I have
like,
so many closing tasks, or not even closing tasks.
So
we don't get to close here.
I kind of, like, shove my stuff into my bag and kind of, like, look over and then just, like, swipe everything off your table.
Yeah, I got to jump
Thank
in
you
there
for helping
really
clean
quick.
up.
Because I want to be outside when you bust out the door, right? I'm like,
yeah.
Do you think you can go to the stars?
I really hope so. And like, this sounds so hopeful and, like, encouraging when you hear it, but in my mind it's like,
it's a bluff.
I can't afford next month's rent.
Right. And I'm like, take me with you, or I'll tell him you stole his work.
Dun dun dun.
Or I guess technically I want them to speak in the third person, so take Iran with you, or Iran will tell that you stole the work. You don't even have to answer if you don't want, right?
Yeah, that could just be, like, the scene.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
In the distance, as it closes, you hear just Ernest's voice calling out, "Yoo-hoo! I brought you ook!"
Oh my god.
All right, we did a scene, guys.
Woo! I think now that's a good. Oh no, Dave would.
That was really fun.
Dave, would you want to add your last thing to the timeline real quick, and then we would have your lens be completed?
Sure. Let me go back to the paperwork there. I moved off of it, looking at other.
And I figure that's a good ending point for this evening.
Yeah.
Did not get very much done.
I mean, we got some. These are fun. They are
done,
slow.
Just not all the stuff we were supposed to get done.
Yeah. But we got to the point where we got one lens done.
Yeah.
Practiced with all of the things. And
made friendship.
I like to think that Samlai was a little part of both the inspiration and maybe making Nay think of stealing it. Oh yeah, no, they I don't think they tipped at all. I'm sorry, Bash.
Yeah, so I had a scene I wanted to do. I don't think we'll do it tonight.
Okay.
So what I was talking before about the migration, because what I pictured was that we observed the migration, tried to communicate with it in the moment. It didn't work. And then when we brought the tapes back, the replaying them for some reason is what made the language, like, comprehensible. So we get this information about either what they're fleeing or why they're going, right, or what, right, like, and I think that's a really cool scene.
Okay.
But I don't think we have time to do it tonight.
Yeah, let's do that first thing next time. I made a note for it.
Is everybody cool with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's something.
I think we all need to go to bed.
Yeah. So it's something like.
You can revise this however.
Yeah.
You want. I just want
enough that we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, we can pick up next time.